And we are back. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to Kimbology. This time we got a guest in the building. Burr, 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 burr. We got my girl Sabrina here. Say hi, Sabrina.
Hey, hey.
Yes, yes. So you guys, this is the Traveling While Black episode. So we are two Black women that have a good amount of stamps on our passport, I would say, right, Sabrina?
I think we got a lot.
I'm like, we've done our share, we've been on a few planes here and there. So obviously travel is so huge in my life. And I'm blessed to have really special people that also share that same love for travel. And Sabrina and me actually have a history. We went to college together, we went to uni together. We both went to fashion school together, but wasn't I design and you were merchandising, right, Sabrina?
Yeah, so you were definitely actually I started off in design and I was like,
Did.
yeah,
You did.
I got really pissed off one day and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I switched to marketing and management. So
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And that's how you enjoy
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. Okay. Cause I was like, how did I fucking cause I remember having classes with you and everything. And then all of a sudden, we obviously when the program got deeper into our majors, we kind of split off, but we always were cool and we always stayed in touch. So Sabrina here, she is a world-renowned traveler. She has seen the world. She's lived abroad, guys. So I'm really super excited to talk to her about it because we both actually were experiencing these things together, but on different sides of the world. Me in Australia, her in Thailand, believe it or not. My mother's home country. So that's why I'm like, I got to talk to Sabrina. So first things first, I want Sabrina to introduce herself, tell us about you and all that stuff, girl.
Oh, child.
No
Obviously,
pressure.
Sabrina. I don't know. I guess I can tell you about myself as far as travel goes. Um, I've always liked traveling. Like the first time I actually left the Midwest, I think I was no. The first time I got on a plane leaving the Midwest, I went to New York when I was like 16 and I was like, "Oh my god, there's so much more out here than what's right here in Indianapolis." So at that point I was like, I just have to get out of here. All throughout high school, I was like, I'm getting out of here. My parents were like, you want to go to school like somewhere else? And I wanted to go in New York. They were like, you can go in Chicago because there's family there. Okay, that's fine. Went to school in Chicago, loved it. Like Chicago is Bay, literally. So then, while I was in college, we had to finish a internship, and a lot of people were going to New York. They were going to LA, and my ass, I was like, I want to do something totally different. So I researched this program. Took my black ass to London when I was
That's
22.
right. You
Yeah,
went to London. I
I
remember
did.
now. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So interned in London and I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. And throughout college, I traveled a little bit. I went to Jamaica with one of my older sisters for a spring break. And I was like, I'm definitely getting out of here because, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Ended up moving back to Indianapolis after college, working in corporate America. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this right now.
The
How
ghetto.
can I travel and make money? And so basically that's how I ended up in Thailand because I was like, I just got to go. And I left.
Yes. Now, okay, so yeah, that I completely forgot that you did your internship in London because I remember that too. Because this is before I even started traveling too. I was so envious of you, girl. I was like, girl, look at my girl
Are
Sabrina in
you?
London. I was like, that's so fucking cool. That's dope. And yeah, I remember that. I do. Cause then I remember you came back, we caught up, but then yeah, you moved back home and then yeah, but what was it that brought you to Thailand? You said you just had to get out of here, but why Thailand?
So I feel like I remember you talking about Thailand, and then there was another girl that was actually from Thailand, and her and I had worked on a project together. And she was showing me pictures, and I was just like, "That's really cute." I was like, "I'm gonna go there one day." So when I was working in my little corporate America jobs, I was just like, "I fucking hate this shit." I was like, "I'm about to get the fuck out of here." I was like, "But where am I gonna go? And what am I gonna do?" So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get out of here? Because at this point, I thought about you and I thought about the other girl, and I was like, I'm going to Thailand. That's just it. So yeah, that's basically what happened. I got tired of corporate America and I just kind of remembered college and I was like, Thailand, why not? I had researched it. I was like, okay, it seems like a decent place for single Black women to go. So I did it.
That's so dope. Because it's like most, like you said, like people, like you thought out the box from jump. Because you were always like, you know, like you weren't thinking about, oh, I'll go to LA, you know, like let me go, like it's just like boom, Thailand, like where they don't like
Yeah.
that is not, English is not the first language, you know what I'm saying? So like that never dawned on you, that never scared you, like going to a country where like they don't speak like English, like.
Well, I mean, I think it wasn't it wasn't that bad for me considering the couple months that I had already done in Europe with my internship. Like I did travel outside of London. I went to other countries where English wasn't the first language.
Okay.
So I was just like, I'll be fine. And whatever. In my mind, I was just like, this shit gonna have to work out because I'm going. So that's
Right. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
yeah.
happen. So
Yeah.
how many countries have you been to, Sabrina? Do you know your
Girl.
count?
So I counted, and honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, girl. When I counted, I was like, this is a disappointing number.
Why?
Because I feel like I want to go so many more places.
Well, same,
Like
same.
I want to go, like there's probably not, I would probably go anywhere. Girl,
Yeah.
it was like 15, 16, 17, in between that range.
That you've been to so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, that's a fucking healthy number, girl. You know what I'm saying? Seeing as how, like, how many Americans, like, don't really get out of their damn comfort zone, get out of their damn, like, state, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have so many family members that never left the country. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, girl, like, is this, but I get what you're saying too when you're like, oh, this is not enough, this is not many,
Right.
like you need more stamps on your fucking passport, you need more, just kind of like niggas and bodies. We are like that with
Okay. Bitches and stamps. Hello?
bitches and stamps. Oh my god, bitches and stamps. Let's make that some merch. Let's get that on some fucking t-shirts right there.
Yeah,
that shit.
Why not?
Yes, bitches and stamps. Yes, I live. Yeah, because literally that's what it is. It's like, how many more stamps can I get in my passport? How many more countries can I get under my belt? Yeah, you know, I mean, honestly, I didn't know how many countries you've been to. I never knew, but I did know that, like, you've been to countries like I haven't been to, and she's like, you guys, so basically, I think it was the time where I was living in Australia. You moved to Thailand, though, at a point. You were living there for a year or so, and then you moved back home, but then you ended up moving back to Thailand and, like, stay there for another couple years or something like that, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, so I went actually, the first time that I went, like, everything was planned out. I was like, I know I'm going to be here for 6 months because I was in 2 of my really close friends' weddings. So I was like, if I leave at this point, I'll be able to be there for 6 months. And then literally, as soon as I come back, I'm in the weddings. And then that was it. Like, that was my plan.
Sabrina, that's like literally the same thing that happened to me. Like,
But
literally, I was living in Australia 6
Yeah.
months, and I had to go back home, be at my brother's wedding, and go to my homegirl's wedding that same, because they were getting married the same weekend. And then I went back to Australia to finish off my 6 months. Same shit. That's crazy.
See, like, when I came home, I was here for like a year.
And you stayed home a little longer?
Yeah,
okay.
I stayed home for a year. And then, girl, I think I just got really stressed out. Like, I was damn near, like, borderline depressed. And I was like, you know what? I got to get the fuck back out of here. Because I think after you live outside of this shit, like, you really have a different perspective of what living is and how you don't have to deal with certain shit. So, like, me being home for that year, it was a rough year, you know, and I was just like, I don't actually have to deal with this. So bye.
Right.
Like, no bullshit, I bought a one-way plane ticket. I text my family and my few little friends, and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. They were like, where are you going? I was like, back to Bangkok. They were like, when? I was like, in 2 weeks. And then I was like, whatever, I'm gone. And I didn't know how long I was staying. I didn't have a plan. Like, fucking YOLO at its finest.
Right.
I just fucking left, and then I stayed for a year and a half. So in total, I lived in Thailand for 2 years.
Got you. Okay, that's because I was like, I know you moved there. You were there for a good chunk, and then you moved back, and then you moved back, and then I thought the second stint you were there longer than your first stint. So
back shit.
Girl, the way things are fucking headed, shit. I might use my Thai passport and join your ass, girl. Cause this shit is the ghetto. Earth is the ghetto. Okay. Earth is ghetto. What was that? What was that?
Definitely use that passport.
Girl, I mean, like, okay, so yeah, we'll get in. I do have questions for you too, but like, I don't want to get all the way off track here. Yeah, so Sabrina, Sabrina, you've lived in Thailand. Now, what did you do when you were living in Thailand, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, yeah, no problem. The first time I was there for the 6 months, I was teaching English at an all-girls Christian boarding school.
Interesting.
Imagine that, yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
Sabrina
good
over
time
there.
though. Like honestly, like I made really good friends working there. I mean, and it was an experience. So, I mean, it's funny how I landed the job, but
How did
in
you land it? You never, I don't think I know this story.
yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
hi, boo boo. Look at your kitty trying to join us.
nosy ass.
He's so cute.
Um, so the first time that I went to Thailand, I didn't know where I wanted to live, right? So in my mind, I was like, I've already done Chicago, I've already done London. So I'm like, since I've done two big cities, maybe I don't want to do a big city again. So I was very against living in Bangkok.
Okay.
So I was like, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna couch surf. So I couch surfed in Bangkok, and then I couch
You
surfed in Phuket,
did.
and then I couch surfed in Chiang Mai. So when I was in Chiang Mai, I was like, fuck it, I'm just about to stay here. I was tired of lugging all of my fucking suitcases around, but I couldn't find like a teaching job
Okay.
because it was very close to the time where everybody was like about to start school. So there was a girl that I met my second night in Bangkok, and she ended up being in Chiang Mai the same time as me. So we like hung out, went to little places, and she was like, you should just come back to Bangkok. There are more jobs, you get paid more. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't even have anywhere to stay in Bangkok. She was like, well, just come stay with me. I was like, okay. So here my happy ass goes back to New
Right.
York. So I literally stayed with her. She called me one day and she was like, the director is looking for a teacher. Do you want to interview? I said, okay.
Boom.
When
Boom.
I interviewed, he said, can you start in 2 days? I said, sure. Literally left the interview, found an apartment, paid the money for the apartment the next day, moved in the following day, and then started the job the day after that.
Wow.
Job.
Look at the universe and like God just providing,
It'd be worth
like manifesting it, girl. Like I
it.
live.
Yes.
That's similar to how, not like, no, I mean like, in a sense of like finding people along the road of traveling and then finding those connections and then that leading to something. Cause that's what happened with me when I was backpacking and I was in Australia. I met this homegirl of mine. She was Italian. Shout out to Margarita. She will be on the show soon. She's from Italy, but then she was living in Sydney at the time because I was traveling in Sydney. And then she told me she was moving to Melbourne. And so I was like, okay, but this is like when I was backpacking. I had no intention of moving to fucking Australia at all. I was just like backpacking, whatever, living my life. So then when I moved back home, girl, same. I was like, let me get the fuck out of here. I'm done with America. Done. And I remember homegirl was like, I'm living in Melbourne, like, so I hit her up on some random shit like, hey, how's Melbourne, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I never been to Melbourne. I never even went. I just like heard all good things about the vibes there. They told me it was a lot like Chicago, like the food was dope, the people were dope. I was like, all right, fuck it. You only YOLO, literally, like
YOLO.
literally, right? Girl,
Yeah.
I fucking sold all my shit, bought my one-way ticket to fucking Melbourne, and she let me stay with her. So
Yeah.
she let me stay with her. I slept in the same bed with her, girl, for like a month while I looked for jobs and I looked for a place for my own. And yeah, thank God for our people, right? Our traveling people that really helped us out.
I think with the kind of traveling that you and I like to do, you definitely find your tribe. You definitely do. People
Right.
that understand it, people that get it, people that are open to helping, people that will be resourceful. Everybody is not that person. But I think the kind of people that you and I are, we find that. That's
Right.
like necessary for us to find. Not even because we need to sleep on your couch or in your bed or we need you to help us find a job, but a lot of people don't understand us.
Yeah.
So it's definitely necessary to have our little travel tribe.
Amen, girl. Yeah, literally. Yeah. Like I can't even tell you how many people were like, "Wait, what? You moving? Like you
Girl.
going traveling for how long?" Because me and you, I'm like, I'm going to make it worth my while. So whenever I would travel, girl, I'd be gone for like a month, 2 months, 3 months. Right, going for 2 weeks or a week.
I'm gonna get out of that.
Your girl was not about that life. So that's why, and that's really how I racked up my 34 countries, because when I was in Asia, I took advantage of all those countries that were super close to like areas and stuff like that. And then when I was in Australia, same shit. Like, cause I always just like wanted to like get them stamps, bitch, you know, bitches and stamps. So yeah, I completely like, it is something that people won't understand. And it's like, that's kind of why I wanted you on the podcast, so we can kind of like give people a little taste in our minds and stuff. So like, I mean, especially like, remember when I went to visit, it was my 29th birthday and I went to Asia for,
and I don't even remember how that happened.
girl, I was backpacking for like a month in Asia. And I always, so like basically because of my mother, like I'm Thai and I have my Thai passport, Thailand and Bangkok in general is always like my central hub. So I will like travel all throughout, you know, like that. I'll go to Bangkok, and then from Bangkok, I'll go ahead and like go to Laos or go to like Vietnam or actually, I haven't been to Vietnam yet. I'm lying. I'm like, what am I saying? Going to Cambodia, just going to like, and then actually, bitch, didn't I like use your apartment to like leave some of my stuff for a little bit or something while I went to travel to Cambodia or some shit? I can't remember.
I just remember you stayed with me for a couple of days. I was like, yeah, girl, come on, it's fine.
Yeah.
We went to the boat party, like.
Yes, bitch. Yeah. I spent my 29th birthday with Sabrina on a boat party in Thailand, and it was dope because there were so many Black people there, like, right? And that's another thing. Another question. It's like, I wanted to ask you, like, did you see a lot of people of color as, like, do you remember seeing a lot of people of color, Black people, Mexican, but, you know, whatever have you, like, as you were traveling? Did you see that?
So, yes and no. So the first time that I was in Thailand for that 6-month stint, no. I, like, saw 2 Black women, and we were getting off of the train, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, and they were like, and so I went out to eat with them. They actually introduced me to this really dope Italian restaurant not far from my apartment at the time. And then there was another Black girl, and she came out to eat with us. And so, it was like cute. And then there was a Black guy that I saw that I think he lived like down the street from me, some kind of way, whatever. And that was it. I mean, there were a lot of colored people, which are South Africans, I saw a lot of them. And then that's pretty much it. The first time that I was there. Mm-hmm. The second time, honey.
Girl, you found every Black person like in Bangkok.
But this is how it happened though. So I was in Laos because I was doing a visa run, and I'm up at the counter. I was by myself. This older Black woman approaches me, and she was like, "Hey, where are you from?" And I was like, "Indiana." And she turned around to this guy. She was like, "I told you she was from my country." And I was like, so I turned around or whatever. And there was a Black guy with her. If I remember, you know what? I don't know. I'm not even, because I don't remember where he's from. So
it's cool. It's cool.
Guy. Basically, long story short, she told me that they made a bet about where I was from.
Really?
Yes, girl. She told me that they made a bet because she was like, "Oh, she's from the States," and he was like, "No, she's from South America." She was like, "No, I know my people." So she won the bet, and then he had to buy her drinks for the entire night.
That's crazy. Okay. Just betting on you.
Betting on me, goddamn.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So whatever. I don't even remember what month it was, but then I was on a date one night. And this woman, she texted me because I stayed in touch with her. And she was like, "There's a meetup by your house. You should come." And I was like, "By my house? Like, why is anybody even close to where I live?"
Yeah.
I was like, whatever. The date was fucking trash. So I just made up some lame ass excuse. And I was like, gotta go. Bye. I left. I walked into this room. And I'm telling you, it was just like lined with Black folks. And this was like Thanksgiving weekend. And I was like, all you motherfuckers live in Thailand? And they were like, yeah. So a lot of people were in Bangkok from different parts of Thailand for like, I guess, Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, but I don't even know how everybody knew like about, girl, I don't even fucking know. I don't know how that shit happened. So yeah, so that's how I got acquainted with all these other Black people that I met in Thailand.
Okay.
From this.
So it was meetups, right? Meetups?
Well, the one woman that I met, she told me to come
Oh,
to the
she told you about me. Okay, got
yeah.
you,
She
got
was like,
you.
"We're just a
Okay.
whole bunch of Black people. You should come." And I was
It
like,
wasn't meetups.com because that's a thing, right?
"It
Meetups.com.
is a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they connected, but I wasn't a
Okay.
part of that at the time, so I didn't know."
Mm,
She just invited me like randomly and told me to come.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I made friends with some of those people, and then we started hanging out, and then I started meeting other Black people and other Black people, and then it was a
Yeah.
thing. It was just a fucking thing, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
I know. I was like shocked because like I remember when I went to visit you and I was like on the boat, like, damn, all these Black people here in Thailand.
Right.
This is fucking lit. Like I was like
That
really
place is so
shocked
much
because like,
all of them.
yeah.
That place,
Well, I mean, because especially since all my experiences are like, well, I went to Thailand. I've been to Thailand a handful of times, but like I would usually go on my own or go visit family. And I just never experienced it on that level when I went to visit you. It was
right.
so special and very like unique. And
Mhm.
like what I feel like a lot of people that don't know about this travel life is that there are a lot of like expats. Expats are people that are basically people that are not from that country that live in that country, right? So like I was an expat when I was living in Australia. Sabrina was an expat when she was living in Thailand. So that's if you're not from America and you live here, you're an expat. That's kind of like a nick.
Mhm.
I don't even know what the fuck what does it stand for. I don't even know. Expat.
I don't know.
Girl,
You
bye.
don't live there.
Google it.
You ain't talking about you live there. Shit.
Girl, I'm like
You were
expat. What does
expat
that sound?
at one point.
Right. I was just like, I know I was one. I don't know what it stands for, but yeah. And so Sabrina, you mentioned you were doing a visa run. So like a visa run, guys, is basically, now correct me, Sabrina, if I'm wrong, but basically a visa run is if you're living in a country and like you have a specific, basically when you have a visa to stay in the country, that visa is only for a specific amount of time. So when that expiration runs out, you need to actually leave the country. Otherwise you will get penalized, possibly kicked out of the country, possibly not let back in. So a lot of people that live in Thailand and Bangkok especially would go on visa runs quite often. I remember I would always hit up, people would always be like, yeah, I was doing my visa run here. I was doing my visa run here. Because I think Thailand only let you stay like 3 months at a time. Is that correct?
So I think it depends on the way that you arrive. Like if it's land or air.
Uh-huh.
Um, honestly, I can't even say that I remember. I know that one time I sent my passport off and it came back, and then I had 60 days, and then I had to go to immigration to extend it for 30 days. And then after that, I had to leave the country.
Wow.
And
Okay.
then you come back in, and then it's the whole
It
process.
starts back over, right?
Unless you have like a work permit.
Right. And you did at one point have one, right? You had
Yeah.
a work permit to work in the country. So then that was longer that you could be there.
Oh yeah, it's a
Right.
lot longer. And then you don't have to leave for the visa run, but you might have to go to immigration. I
Okay.
got really lucky with the school that I was working with the second time, because I mean they had transportation. Somebody came with you that was Thai that spoke through the
Really?
entire process. Girl, yes.
That's
Through the
good.
entire process, like they did all the paperwork. You just have to like literally give your passport, and they did everything else, and you just had to go with them.
That's good. Oh my God. You worked the second time though, you worked for like an international school, right? Or something like that. What was it?
So the second time I did a couple of things.
Girl,
Nothing crazy.
I'm like, what did you do?
No, the second time, when I went back, I ended up getting a job at a government school, which I hated, and then I quit after a month because sis really tried my fucking life. And I was
Really?
like, girl, like I literally quit on. She messaged me talking jazzy, and I quit on a Wednesday night. I said, how about I just don't come back tomorrow? She was like, what
Wow.
about your students? I said, those are no longer my students.
Wow.
Then I was unemployed for a month, and then I got the job at the international kindergarten.
That's what it was. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But have you always taught kids or did you teach adults at one point? I can't remember.
No, so there was high school the
Okay.
first time I was there, and then there was the government high school that I quit, and then the kindergarten.
Okay. So they
Hmm.
were all they were like so they were all like teenagers or kids like in a
Yeah,
sense, right? Okay.
yeah, I never
Never
taught
adults.
adult.
Adults, okay. Yeah, because I
Mm-hmm.
was curious because I remember because my homegirl that did she taught in Seoul, she was teaching children, she was teaching kids, and then she moved back. She moved to Japan and she was in Osaka and she was doing adults there. And she said she really
Oh,
loved the adults. So yeah, but I
mhm.
guess it just depends on the school that gets hired, you know, that hires you and
Yeah,
whatever contract that you have and stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah.
which is all based off of what you find, because yeah.
You
So
never really know.
you never know. Yeah. I remember I met a girl when I was in Australia, and she told me about when she was living in Singapore and she taught there. And she told me, girl, they were like, that bitch was set up. Like, she's like, girl, they pay me really good, pay for everything, like her apartment, like, and that's what I hear a lot about Singapore. Have you heard about this? Well, it's because like Singapore's so fucking hot all year round that nobody wants to live there.
There, right?
It's hella expensive there. But like, she told me that they set her up so fucking good that like she was able to like save money, pay off her student loans, and like everything. Yeah, girl. I was like, but then you gotta live in Singapore where it's hot as, I mean, like, but you lived, so you lived in Bangkok, right? You lived for a year and a half. So you experienced winter and summer, right? But doesn't it get cooler?
Girl, for like 2 weeks. That shit hot as fuck though.
So it's pretty consistent year round.
Yeah, for the most part. Like,
for the most part.
Right now is probably the coolest time of year.
And that's like what, 50, 60 degrees Fahrenheit?
60 to like 70.
60 to 70, okay. Yeah, my sister told me that at one point. I think she said it was the coldest year that Thailand's ever seen, though. It got down to like 50s and 60s. And she said that was like really like crazy, though, because it doesn't usually do that.
Girl, there was the first time that I was there, it was around like this time, and I feel like it was like 60 degrees, and I was like literally outside. I loved it so much.
Right?
Hot. Fucking hate being hot. But whatever.
How do you move to the hottest place ever and hate being hot?
I'm about to do it again, so whatever. Not there, but obviously, whatever.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
Right. But it was just like so nice. I was so happy to be like chilly. My students were walking around with earmuffs, gloves.
Stop.
I shit you not. They were in class. Oh, I wish I had like my throw. They were in class like with a throw over their shoulders. I got in the elevator. A woman had on a fur coat. You know, the motorbike taxi drivers, girl, they were at the corner.
Oh, look at that.
Like fires, like little fire pit things. I was like, it is not that fucking cold. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing?
Oh my God. Girl. That just goes to the level, though. It's like, you're going to probably experience it too. Because you guys, Sabrina is moving again because she can't sit her ass sits down somewhere. But she's not moving out of this country as of right now. No, she's moving to Houston, right? Right, yeah, not yet. Again, but you moving to Houston, right?
For now, yeah.
For now, right. But I heard too, like down there, like they're just like sometimes when it's like 50 degrees, they over there with their fucking fur coats too, and be like, oh, it's so fucking cold. Mind you, we're over here like, this is nice as fuck because we're from Chicago and Indiana, so
yes. Like, girl, that's 60 fucking degrees in Bangkok. I was like, I'm back in Indianapolis. I love this. So
right. You're just like, this is life. Yeah, I mean, like when you're hot all the time and then to get that break, I'm sure that shit felt like literally like the best thing you've ever experienced in your whole life.
It did.
You did mention briefly you were on a date and it was trash. I think a lot of people are super curious about how dating is overseas, and I have some stories too. But you were in Thailand, I was in Australia, so how was dating overseas? How was dating in Thailand?
It was very interesting. So I will start off by saying I never went on dates with Thai men because I don't think they really like Black girls. So there's that. I think they just really like white girls.
Did they ever approach you though? Did they ever like on dating apps or anything?
No, like I think the most that a Thai man would flirt with me was when I was on the islands, and they were like, "Oh, you're so beautiful." Like,
okay.
The guys that were darker. But like in Bangkok, fuck no, never. Absolutely, a Thai man, never, honey, never. Which I don't care, girl, because that's fine. I like.
Yeah, you were like, I wasn't really feeling Thai men too, but there's also because there's that weird colorism thing that's also in Asian culture that I don't know if many people know about. That like over there in Asia, like there's a lot of like lightening agents and everything you see, like skincare products. The lighter, the more porcelain and white your skin is, the more beautiful you are in the Asian culture. So obviously Black women, we're not that cool. You know what I'm saying? We over here with the melanin, the
Girl, and I
chocolatey,
like
beautiful
myself
skin.
when I have a tan. So I like when I'm dark.
Right.
I'm like, girl, I'm
Oh,
nothing.
and go to Asia, they'll hide from the sun. They'll wear
Yeah.
like long sleeve shirts to cover them. So they don't want to be dark because they're being dark is associated with being poor, being like lower
Yeah, having
class.
to work outside.
You
Yeah.
have to work outside. Where if you're rich, you have money, you're inside, you're indoors, so you're staying out of the sun, so your skin is white.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm guessing that had to do something too with it, you know, the fact of colorism and stuff. So
Girl, which was fine with me because the black the berry, the sweeter the juice. God damn. If anybody knows me, y'all know I love
I
dark
know.
skin. So there's that. On the dating note, basically I ended up dating mostly African men because there are a shit ton of fucking Africans in Bangkok. Oh my God. Like a
Really?
shit ton. So many.
Where were they from? What parts of Africa?
A lot, mostly like Nigeria.
Okay.
Mostly Nigeria. So I mean, I went on dates with a lot of them. There was one little dude from Senegal. He was fine as hell, and I was like, yeah, damn. So there was one. And then like I met this one dude. He like was from Texas, but he was playing basketball in Thailand. I met a
Okay.
dude, and he was like from I don't know somewhere in this country, and he was coaching in China, and then he would come and visit Bangkok. Went out with him
Okay.
a few times. Yeah. So even in Thailand, I still only dated black men.
That is so wild to me. Sabrina's
Yeah,
gonna find them niggas and shit. She gonna find them. Listen, you
I
could be
sure
in the
am.
middle of the island somewhere in a random ass country. She gonna find y'all because she literally sticks with the people.
Yeah, I do. I mean, honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. That's just what I like. You know,
Right, right.
if
Ain't
that's
nothing wrong
my
with that.
preference, that's
Yeah.
I stick to what I like. You
The thing is that you're so cultured. Like you travel the fucking world. You
Mhm.
see all these. You love actually other people's culture. You love to
I
see that
do.
stuff. Right, right. You just like what you like. So it's like,
Yeah,
the fuck you supposed to do? You know? I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I love it. But I
yeah.
just like. Okay, so the one date you said was trash. He was an African dude.
Girl, I don't even fucking remember where his ass was from.
Ah!
First of all, what
You're like, I guess I don't fucking know.
I
Like he was
don't
trash.
remember.
I
I
can't.
just pulled up and I didn't like his outfit and I was already over it. His conversation was like really boring. And
Mm.
I'm colorful. Like, come on now. We gotta what the fuck?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
we
Keep
doing?
up. Keep
Yeah,
up.
and he wasn't.
Yeah.
Bro was lagging and I was like, this is so fucking whack. So I did, and I'm not gonna lie, dating in Bangkok definitely got tricky sometimes.
How
Like
so?
I would have to make up shit and just like kind of take a different way to make sure motherfuckers wasn't following me. Like,
Oh, what? Really?
bro, I was on a date and this dude like had a dude with him, and it was really awkward to me for whatever reason. I made a post about this on Facebook. You might have seen it
I
actually.
probably did.
Yeah. So I don't know. Dude had a dude with him, and he was like with us the whole time. Whatever. I
On your
went to
date?
yeah. I went to Soy Cowboy. I was like, maybe this will just like distract them because like
Oh,
all
that
the
was like your
boys
favorite
outside.
place.
What
One of your
girl?
favorite places.
No, it
No?
girl. No, I only went there a few times,
Okay, okay.
but I
I
went
thought you
there to try to distract them so I could just
ah.
leave.
Uh-huh.
Girl, come to find out, the dude that I was on a date with, he was like, "Well, I like men and women, so can you like join us?" And I was like,
Oh, he was trying to set you up.
"Yeah." And I'm just like, "Ain't that something you tell people like before they come? Like,
Absolutely.
let me decide if that's what I want to do.
Oh
Don't just
yeah,
bring that shit on me when I meet up
absolutely.
with you, cause no, motherfucker, bye."
Oh no, no. That was
Yeah.
way out of pocket. Way the fuck out of pocket.
Yeah.
You don't be just like surprised. Here's my nigga, like, you want fuck? Like, no. We don't do
Right.
that. We don't fucking do that.
No,
No,
we
no,
don't.
no. That's
No.
some wild shit. I mean, like, and that's the thing though, because when you're overseas, like, we all kind of know it's like, oh, we're all here, we're expats, da 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 da. But girl, they be some fucking. I guess it's because they feel like, oh, you're a traveler, like you're assumed to be this like fucking like you're into that shit, like you're down for like that wild shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like that. It also doesn't shock me that it happened to you overseas. Like it would be more like it wouldn't that shit wouldn't fly if that was like
We have that shit here for
here.
real.
Exactly, exactly. There's shit that like that would be done over there and be like, okay, well that's just like a Tuesday or whatever.
Also, now that we're talking about it, I wonder if they're like, oh, a black American girl. Like
Yeah.
It was like intriguing for them.
Yeah. Cause like, you know how people have their own preconceived notions about like how people are, about like where they're from. Like I remember I would talk to my friends, my family in Thailand, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're from America." So there's like, they think that like every part of America is like California, like
In New York.
surfer, white, blondes, you know, like that type of shit. Where I'm like, I'm from Chicago, like. We don't have
Right.
no fucking surfer life there, you know. Like, we got a motherfucking lake, a cold ass lake that none of us go to really anymore. Cause bitch, I don't be going to the fucking lake like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
But girl, don't front. Chicago is bomb. I love that shit.
oh,
So.
girl, you can love Chicago all you want. I'm just like,
I
nah.
mean, I'm not about to move back, but there's that.
I mean,
I
like,
thought about it.
I mean, like, it's home, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, listen, I know a real like beach that's like beautiful as opposed to
Right.
like Lake Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Like, no
Right.
offense. But yeah, so like, okay, so like I can totally agree with you on that sense, because like, I mean, like for me, when it came to dating overseas in Australia, it was like there was a different kind of like I mean, like, you know how here in the States, you know, niggas holla, they'll see you on the street, what's up, da 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 da, whatever. Girl, that shit doesn't exist over there. Like that whole like rape culture and like niggas trying to holler at you on the street. Like when I tell you that happened to me like one time, and it was like a group of like African niggas that were like driving, but that was it. And I was there a year. So like, ask me how much that happens like on a daily basis in Chicago. I mean, maybe not in the COVID life anymore, really. Not even, bitch. That still fucking happens. So you know what I'm saying? COVID don't stop. COVID don't stop the thirsties. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
just, girl. But like, yeah. So we would like, I would do the apps. I did like Tinder out there and stuff like that. And like, yeah, it just wasn't like, it was just like whack. Like they
Really?
were so, yeah. Like, I mean, and mind you, like I was like ready to experiment in the sense of like dating like full facets of like, you know, what's going on, because there are a lot of Asian people in Australia too, because Australia, where it's at, centrally located, there's a lot of like the Asian states, the Asian countries are like, it's like super close in a sense, you know.
Right.
So there are a lot of Asians, and like I'm half Asian, so I'm like, let me try. And I've never like dated like an Asian guy, nor had I had an Asian guy really feel me, like was into me. So I remember I went on a date with like a Vietnamese guy. I would go on a date with like Indian, like, because I was just like random on some random shit. And like Aussie whites though, like there was one Aussie whites there. They, now mind you, this is something that I feel like people don't get, because the racism in America against Black Americans is something that is really it's really something that happens a lot in America.
Yeah.
But if you go outside your country, in Australia, that is a culture that they are not familiar with, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would go on dates with white Aussies, and they would be like saying nigga and shit like that to me. Yes, like a white Australian man, you know. But mind you, I know, trust me, I had a, Sabrina's got this face like she just can't even right now. If you guys are watching on YouTube on the visuals, Sabrina's just like can't even deal right now.
What?
So yes, and not only that, I had like white Australian women would say it and stuff, and I would be so just like, you know, that feeling in your fucking soul, like in your heart, just kind of like rise up, that heat that rises up from the core of your belly, that heat, that anger or whatever.
What I'm feeling
But
right
it's
now?
like, what was that?
Is it what I'm feeling right now?
Right. And so like, but then I like during that date, I remember I was like, you might not want to say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might want to watch it, you know,
Yeah.
like that word is something that you probably shouldn't throw out like that. And what he told me, he was like, oh no, it's not like that. It's different here in Australia, you know, like we don't feel it like that. I'm like, right, but I'm Black American. That don't work with me.
Cut it.
You don't say that.
Yeah.
At all, because like that word has a lot of meaning and heaviness to it that you will never fucking understand. And so, but at the same time, I had to realize where I was at, in a sense of like, for example, too, right? And this is something I tell people, and they just get rocked whenever they hear it, because they're like, what? So same with you when you had African guys that you would see in Thailand. There were a lot of African, not a lot, but the Black people in Australia weren't necessarily Black Americans. And I know what you guys are thinking. You guys like, what's the difference? There is a huge difference between African Americans, Black Americans that are from America, and Africans that are from Africa, right? And this is why. This is exactly why they're different. So when I was in Australia, there were these like, there was like, I think one guy was he was Senegalese, like he was from Senegal, and I think the other guy was from Nigeria or Ghana, something like that. Two black dudes, kind of cute, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was still new to Australia, I was still new to Melbourne, so I was trying to find my tribe. I was trying to find my people, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like chilling. I forgot where the fuck we met. I forgot. Totally forgot. But whatever. So I remember though sitting with these two niggas, like, and I was talking with them, and they straight up looked at me, and they were like in their 20s. They were young black men, early 20s, right?
Yeah, that's probably like
They looked at me, girl, and were like, so is it true? Like, is it really true? Like, if I go to Chicago, like,
I'm scared.
cops are gonna like arrest me? Like, they're gonna like
Wow.
really pull me over and like really, come on, like, does that really happen? Does it? And I just looked at them like, yeah. I just like,
Yeah.
I was so confused, genuinely, like, just like was like, of course, don't you? Because you know, in being a Black American, being raised in America, that's something that is told to us as children. Like, our
It's
parents tell us.
norm. It's literally a fucking norm.
It is a norm. We are told that we need to abide, like, we are not treated the same when it comes to cops. We need to be careful because, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers will kill us. You know, they will pull us over. They will treat us, you know, this way for no fucking reason, just for being Black, driving
Mhm.
while Black, right? So these niggas they literally, these were two Black young men that had no idea what oppression and racism felt like, if that makes any sense to you. And
Mhm.
it completely blew my mind because I really had to sit there and be like, what? But because in Australia, bitch, Aussie white girls fucking love African dick. Like, they love Black dick. They
That
love
doesn't
it.
surprise me at
Bitch, when I tell you these niggas were
doesn't
like,
surprise me at all.
girl, these niggas like had the nerve, right? They like, oh, my shit don't stink. Like, I'm over here like, these bitches love my like, they are praised everywhere because literally Aussie women, like, they love that shit. And like, they don't feel that oppression, they don't feel that discrimination, they don't feel it. And I will tell you guys right now, as a Black American woman living in Australia, living in Melbourne, I was at the top, which sounds crazy because I'm a Black American woman from America. Like, I'm at the bottom here, right? The only thing lower than me here in America is if I was, you know, transgender or transsexual, anything like gay, or, then I would go lower than that. You know what I'm saying? But being a Black American woman, boom, you're at the low, right? So from being at the low to moving to the top, I was just like, I didn't know how to feel, bitch.
Yeah, right.
So weird. And so then I meet these guys and these these Black African guys, and they're just like, really? I'll get pulled over there. Come on, does that really happen? And I just like could
Yes.
not. So long story short, I couldn't fuck with those niggas no more because I just couldn't understand. They just couldn't understand me on
Mhm.
that level. You know what I'm saying? There is a like a like an understanding that I feel like a lot of Black Americans just have with one another, even if we don't
Absolutely.
fucking know each other, right, Sabrina? Like,
Absolutely.
even if we don't know each other, it's like we have this like unspoken like understanding of like, okay, we all know how it feels to be
Mhm.
oppressed and to be like, you know what I'm saying? So we just kind of have this like bond, you
I mean,
know?
it's different being Black from America and then Black from Africa.
Right.
Growing up, it is a totally different kind of a thing. I think we look at life differently. We have different fucking experiences. Like, we just do. God damn it. Like, all of our presidents, except for one, are old ass white men. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
This is technically,
Right.
technically the ruler of the free world. It's always old ass white men, with the exception
Always.
of one. Okay,
Right.
I, they don't deal with that same shit over there. Now
No.
maybe they might have different struggles from us.
Right.
I'm not
Right.
gonna take that away from them, but it's definitely different.
Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason that I did leave Thailand is, although there was a very big Black community out there, I lacked a lot of Black American culture, which I fucking love. And I actually was posting about this shit on Instagram a couple weeks ago. I love Black American culture, and I've not been able to feel that anywhere. And so I feel like that's why I always like to come home, at least for a little bit of a reset, and then I'm gonna leave
Yeah, for
again.
sure. For
But
sure.
no, I definitely understand what you mean. Like, they couldn't relate because they just couldn't understand, you know,
Yeah.
what you were
Yeah,
talking
like
about.
when you were dating these guys that were did you ever like have these conversations, and did it ever be like, whoa, like to you, like,
Mhm. I don't
Or
think
no?
it was those conversations specifically. We definitely had disagreements about life and
Mm,
how I acted versus how they acted towards me.
mm,
Because you know how I am. I'm very no nonsense. I'm not with the bullshit. Like I'm fun. I'm a good time. Like I can go out. We can have fun. But like I'm not one to be controlled. You're not
mm,
going to talk to me crazy. I don't
mm,
care about how much money you have. And I think for a lot of them, they are from a world where all of that shit matters.
mm,
That shit doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care about your money. You're not going to control me. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way. I'm going to wear whatever the fuck I want. Some of
mm.
them, some men do not understand that.
Did they expect you to be like subservient and like to them and like wear like certain clothing and?
You know what? It wasn't even the clothing, but I do remember there's one guy specifically that I met the second time that I went back. He was like, "Well, you can come over and wash my clothes."
Oh, what?
I shit you not.
What?
I probably still have that shit in my phone online. Yeah.
Oh,
He was like, come over and wash my clothes. I was like, I'm not doing that shit. And he was like, you never want to do any womanly duties.
yeah, you got the wrong girl. Completely.
But he had a whole bunch of money. And so I guess he thought like
Uh-huh.
that
Yeah.
meant like, oh, let me come over and be the maid. Like,
No.
I'm not the one for that. And but
Hmm.
you know, I wasn't mad at him because I'm like, maybe he just grew up thinking that this was the way that women are supposed to be.
True.
Me,
True.
I'm like, I'm the opposite. I do what the fuck I want.
Right.
Nigga, are
You
you
got
gonna
the
wash
wrong
my
one.
clothes? The fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Because
Let's do
where
that.
we
Let's.
at?
Right.
So I mean, it's different. You definitely here you realize that people have different upbringings, different outlooks on life, you know.
Mhm.
But once you're totally removed from
Yeah.
where you're from and you are in a country that is this, and then you have all these people from other countries that are whatever the fuck they are, it's
Yeah.
just like, goddamn.
It's so like wild to experience, isn't it? Like, because
Yeah.
then, like, okay, so when I said that about Black Africans and Black Americans in Australia being like the top of the food chain, like, I literally believe I got my job. Like, I actually was a bridal consultant in Australia, in Melbourne. And like, the lady told me she hired me because I was Black American. And I was like,
Oh,
this would be the opposite if it was in America. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have got to the bottom of the list if that was the
right.
case. But like, they really liked having that, like, they loved my accent, quote unquote. They said I had an accent. They're like, oh, I love your accent. Where you from? I'm like, I'm from
Yeah.
Chicago. Like, I don't got no accent. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but they
About
like, right. But just like here in America, it's like having
Mhm.
someone like that has an Australian or British or,
Yeah,
South
yeah, yeah,
African
yeah,
accent.
yeah.
That shit's exotic. That shit's different. That shit's
I
like,
guess.
ooh, where you
Yeah.
from? Yeah.
Right.
So they use that same thing. So in that sense, I can understand that. I can get it. But what, like, for example, though, like, there was racism that I experienced in Australia, but it wasn't necessarily the same racism that is in America, right? In Black America. In Black America, please. Yeah, right. In America. I was like,
Yeah.
girl. I'm like, one day, maybe one day, girl.
One
Um,
day.
but no, like, there was racism, but like the racism that was there was uh Aussies were like racist against the Aboriginal people. So like they're native, like, so like, the natives,
How dare y'all be
yeah. They
racist?
were, yeah. They felt a way about them. And then another group of people they were racist against were Middle Eastern, so to speak, right? So like, so one of my yeah, yes, they didn't feel that way, yeah. And so my best friend out there, shout out to you, girl, you know who you are. I don't want to call her out just in case it's a sensitive subject, but
Right.
she was Middle East. She spoke Arabic fluently. Her last name represented a very specific race, in a sense, like, kind of like Patel as a last name for Indian
Right.
people.
Mhm.
A last person has a last name Patel, they're Indian, right? So she had a last name that kind of screamed that she was Middle Eastern, right? Or, from this part of the world. And so she said that held her back from getting jobs. And
Interesting.
Aussie people would be discriminated discriminate her, you know? So me and her really connected on that level because she got it, right? So I couldn't connect with the African niggas from Senegal and Nigeria, you know what I'm saying? The black men I couldn't connect with, but I connected with my homegirl because she knew what it felt like to be the nigga in Australia.
Yeah.
She felt it.
She
So
felt
in a
it.
sense, we had that camaraderie that I feel like that bond that Black Americans have too, you know? So that's the one thing that really fucking stood out to me was like one time, like we were like training because we both were like aerialists. And we were training in circus school, and she was like, something happened where like, I think a song, so the word nigga came up, right? And she was like, oh, she like didn't say, she's like, oh, I don't say that word. I was like, why not? She's like, oh, that's irresponsible for me to say that word. I don't say that word. I was just like, yes, girl. She's like, I'm not that stupid. I don't say that word. I was like, oh, bitch, friends for life. You know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
Yeah. I loved her from that day forward because I was like, yes, bitch, you get it. You ain't even from America. You get it, bitch. I fuck with you heavy, you know? So,
I
you
think
know,
people saying nigga, like, you don't really have to be from here to know it, but like, you know better.
Girl, I looked at those white Aussies like, are you fucking crazy to say that in front of me too? Like a black, like not only like, because the thing is like, I bet they say it around their African friends, right? Because they can do that because the Africans don't know that word, that heaviness there, right? Their ancestors weren't brought to America. Like they actually got to stay in their country. They actually have a language. They actually get to speak their own language. Black Americans got that stripped away from us. We don't have a language. We don't have our history. It was taken from us.
I don't even know where
they
the fuck
say
my
it
family is from. Let's talk about that.
Girl, we got to do that damn ancestry 1, 2, 3, whatever the fuck it's called, just to find out our lineage. We don't know where we come from.
Girl,
you know what I'm saying? So it's just like they don't get it. So yeah, they over here spewing it, saying nigga this, da, 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 not knowing what that means, and they got their white, you know, Aussie friends saying it and not really fucking getting it either and shit. But my homegirl, you know, the Middle Eastern girl,
she was like, no, ma'am.
She was like, no, ma'am, not today. We're not doing that. I'm not irresponsible. I said, bitch, I fuck with you heavy. So, and that's something that I feel like is very like you can't really explain it unless you experience it firsthand, you know?
Yeah.
And so I wanted you on because I wanted to ask you too. It's like, did you experience any sort of like racism to you, or flipped, maybe like the opposite, where you felt like you were on the top of the food chain as opposed to the bottom or whatever?
So, child, I definitely experienced both.
Okay.
Because I think Thailand, like you said, the colorism is definitely a thing there, you know? And so they're like, oh my gosh, you're dark skinned. So they immediately think that you must be African, right?
Okay.
Until you start to speak, they're like, oh my God, you're American. And then they embrace you. No matter your fucking skin color. So it's like, oh, if you're American, you're top of the food chain no matter what.
Okay.
No matter if you're black or not, you know?
Okay.
With some people, I'll say that. I got a lot of fucking stares all the time, and god damn it, I hate when people stare at me. But I understood because I'm not short, I'm not skinny, you know, my hair shit any given day of the week is probably fucking different. My clothes were different, you know, like I looked very different. Yeah. So people were staring. It wasn't my favorite thing, but I eventually did get over it and it didn't bother me as much.
How did you stand it in India, bitch? You went to India. They stare so much though, Indian people.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Sabrina is
let me go to India in a minute.
Okay.
So yeah, the racism shit, Thailand. A lot of the women I feel like embraced me more. They were like, oh my God. Like there were women that used to literally slap my ass. They're like, oh, what? So big, give me some. And I'm just like, you don't get the fuck off my ass. Like, I get it. It's out there a little bit. I get it. So, you know, there were women like that. They were obviously very intrigued by my hair because sometimes I would wear it out. Sometimes I would have braids, which is another thing. You can definitely get your hair braided in Bangkok.
I remember that. I was shocked.
Yeah, but I mean, then there was an incident that I had at a bar, which it was violent, and then I ended up in the hospital at the police station.
You never told me this. Oh my God.
What happened? Girl, so there was this bar. It was like an after hour spot or whatever. And basically, I had my phone on the charger. I had been there several times before, had my phone on the charger, tried to get my phone back. The Thai guy wouldn't give me my phone off of the charger. So he started yelling at me. And girl, you know me, I'm yelling back because give me my shit. He just started punching me in the head. Yes.
Oh my God.
Punching me in the head. I fell on the fucking ground. Like they were dragging me out of the place. The girls that I was with, like they came out. Some African guys, because it's technically like an African, like after hour spot. Okay. Some African guys that I didn't even know, they ran over. They had to pick me up and like walk me down the steps. They were beating them in the back with batons as I was walking down the steps, or as they were carrying me down the steps. They like kicked a girl down the steps, punched a girl. Yeah. So I text this dude, like in my mind, I was like, I just want to go home. So I'm telling my homegirl, I'm like, I just want to fucking go home. She's like, bitch, no, you can't walk. Your ear is fucking bleeding. It won't stop. God. And I'm like, whatever, I want to go home. She was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So we weren't far from my job. I knew a hospital in the area. I'm like, fine, whatever, we can go there. So I text this dude that I know that used to work at the bar. And I'm like, dude, they just fucking beat me up. And I was like, I'm about to go to the hospital. I told him the hospital I was going to. He came there. He actually told me that this isn't the first time that they've beat people up before. So apparently this bar has a thing for beating Black people up. Oh! And this is shit that I'm finding out like after all this shit happened to me. We had like a Black in Bangkok chat. It eventually ended up getting out through word of mouth. Not me, because I didn't want anybody in my fucking business. But, you know, then people were talking shit like in the chat. And I was like, listen, it was me, yada, yada, yada. All these people started reaching out to me, like telling me stories about shit that has happened there. Girl, I was at the hospital. I had to get an x-ray, stitches. I was in a fucking wheelchair. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sleep. Like my whole shoulder was like bruised. My back was scratched up. Like people had to like bring food. Like people were bringing food to my apartment.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like it was fucking crazy.
Did anything happen to this guy? Like, did you go to the police? The thing is, like, it's different there.
Yeah, girl. So apparently that bar pays like the police off to like do whatever. And you already know how that shit works there. Yep. So the dude, girl, one of the girls that was with us called somebody. The dude that did this shit to me came to the police station. He was at the police station like laughing with the police officers. Like he knew them. Like it wasn't even a thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there like literally shaking because a man has never put their hands on me in my entire 33 years of life until that point. So like seeing him come in there, I was just like, what the fuck, you know? So in my mind, I was just like, this shit is fucking crazy. Like I have never experienced anything like that before. So, you know, I've told some people about this. This is actually my first time really speaking out about it on a platform.
Wow.
With details. Because, you know, after it happened, people were like, well, what did you do to make him do that? And I'm like, how is this turning to be my fault?
Wow. Again, blaming a Black woman that was attacked.
Kim, I shit you not. What did you do for him to do that? You shouldn't have been there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was just trying to get my property back. Wow. But it's clearly like, you know, he clearly did this shit to other people.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like an isolated incident where it only happened to me. So yeah, that was that. That's really like the worst thing that I've ever fucking experienced in my life.
Oh my God.
But even with that happening, that doesn't take away from my entire experience of Thailand because bitch, I would move back to Bangkok tonight. I just wouldn't go there.
That is why I fucking love you so much because it's like, you know, that like it just goes to show like just because Sabrina experienced that horrible, and I'm so sorry that happened to you. Awful. That's fucking horrible. No, girl. And it happened in Thailand.
I know. I don't like talking about it because then people are like, "Oh my God, fuck Thailand," but it's just like, no, fuck him and fuck that place for allowing that.
Right. You heard it. She says she will go back to Thailand, move back there in a heartbeat. So like, it's not just. I mean, shit. There are places worse in America. The fuck.
That happen here.
100%. Sundown towns are still a thing in America, guys.
Still a thing.
Still a thing. Like, I mean, if you guys don't know what sundown towns, like, basically, it's an area of America where you literally as if you're Black, you are not allowed to go or be in that area out and about after sundown, because otherwise they're going to lynch your ass, fucking beat your ass, fucking do whatever they want. And it's going to be like, just like a Thai dude that was up in the police station keying it up with the police. Same thing will happen with these fucking, you know, guaranteed you those motherfuckers were at the fucking Capitol. Guaranteed you that. The ones that were at sundown. Okay? Same motherfuckers. Okay? So like, well, I did not know.
Well, no, I mean, and it's fine. It's not something that, like, honestly, I wanted to make like a post about it. Like, I wanted to speak out about it. Yeah. But I was like, no, because I know people are going to be like, but what did you do? I don't have time for that, because I will cuss somebody out. Like, I don't have time for that kind of energy. I did want to bring awareness to it, because it's like traveling isn't always like glitz and glam. Like, I know our pictures are cute and shit, but there's shit that happens behind the pictures.
I know our pictures are cute and shit.
They are. They bomb as fuck. But, you know.
Your photos in what was it, Cancun or something that you were just at?
Oh, girl. That shit was fucking YOLO as fuck.
Oh, they were beautiful. I put them in the visuals for like me and Joy's in the YouTube. Yeah, girl, you gotta watch it. I put it in. I put your ass in there looking all cute. Or like when you were laying down on the fucking shit. Yeah. I mean, yeah, your pictures are cute and all, but with travel comes a lot of like, I mean, I feel like it's not for the faint-hearted, right? Like, you gotta have a strong personality. You gotta be strong in general to be able to go to countries where you don't speak the language. This is not your culture, you know? You are literally, and like, the thing is, me and you, we travel majority of the time alone, you know? We like to travel alone. Like, in these parts of the world, it's like, you know, it's just like that whole thing is like, you're not in America, boo-boo. It's like, you are in another country. Don't think that the rules apply here, you know? It's like,
fucking privilege.
No, you know,
people don't give a fuck about that shit.
Don't give a fuck, you know? So it's like, at the same time, yes, it's amazing. And it's just like this feeling, like once you get that travel bug and once you just get that wanderlust life, it's just unreplaceable. Like, I mean, I know you are, I don't know, let's just dive into it. I mean, are you dying right now because you can't go traveling? I mean, how has been the pandemic for you with travel? Like, I mean, I know you kind of went to other places in the States, but did you go, have you left the country since the pandemic hit?
I went to Mexico on some YOLO shit, and it was literally for a few days. Like, my girl hit me up one Thursday night, and she was like, what are you doing this weekend? Come to Mexico. And I was like, hello? But I didn't really give a fuck.
Right.
I mean, I had quit one of my jobs. I had literally just started another job that same week.
Okay.
And she hit me up like Thursday as I was getting off work, and she was like, come to Mexico. And I was like, I just started this job. And I hit my sister up. She was like, bitch, go. I was like, who the fuck? YOLO, duh. Like, that's who I am. So yeah, then I was at the airport at 5:00 in the morning the following day. It was a lit ass weekend. And that's literally the only time that I've left. I've traveled stateside a little bit for work, for my birthday. But that was literally just Tennessee. Came to Chicago a few times. Then I went to Mexico for a lit ass week, random YOLO ass weekend, and that was it.
I mean, is it been really hard for you not to travel during this pandemic? Has it been really hard on your
Because, girl, I be getting mad, and I'm like, I just want to book a one-way flight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I kind of can't, because you have to quarantine.
Yes.
Most of the places that you go, you have to pay for the fucking hotel that you quarantine in. You have to have all this paperwork. And then it's like, by the time the fucking quarantine is over, I'm supposed to be going back home.
Right. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Have you ever had COVID? Did you get COVID or no?
No, actually, I did not.
Really? Good, girl.
October was lit as fuck. And then I came to Chicago the first weekend of November.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm about to get tested, just in case. I was like, because
I'm out here wilding. Let me just check real quick.
Girl, I did a lot. I was like, what the fuck, bitch? But
girl,
whatever. So I did a little test thingy of my fucking life, and it came back negative. And I was like, sweet.
Girl.
And that was it. I haven't done anything else. Like, I haven't gone anywhere or done shit since then.
It's been fucking hard. I mean, I know that the travelers like that are out there listening can really relate to just the struggle right now. I mean, like, same like you. Like, I started the year off the beginning of 2019 in Bermuda, because that's kind of like for like New Year's, we were there, me and my partner, and then the pandemic hit. We were supposed to go to Asia for a month, me and him, and then we had to like, that was a whole thing, bitch, because like nobody expected that. So all the airlines, we were calling like, give me my money back, and they were like, like, just you know how it was, because yeah, I actually did. I got, yes, I was able to get the money back, which thankfully, but no one expected that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, they really wanted to not give us our money back, but then at the same time, it's like, this is a global pandemic. It's beyond us.
Shit, period.
Give me my shit, run me my money.
Yeah.
So, but then and then we like drove to Colorado in the car. We rented a car and did that whole thing because we were just still not comfortable with getting on a flight. And then like after that, we did take a flight to Arizona, and then the last thing we did was go to Puerto Rico. And
yeah, those pictures are so cute. I love
thank you, boo. I'll admit, girl, I can't sit my ass down, so it's just like,
clearly,
yeah. So I mean, I've done my share of traveling during this time, and I mean, we did it all, in a sense, the safest way we could, in a sense, masks, cleaning everything. I had a bottle of alcohol on Deckington everywhere I went. So I did get COVID though, in October. I did. Yeah, I had it back in October of 2019. And dead ass, I really think that I got it from the stray cats that I take care of outside, because that was because the week I got COVID was the week I actually caught and I trapped because I have 2 stray kitties that we take care of that are outside. They're feral cats, but they're like our cats. Like they literally, like every single day we feed them every day. They're our kitties, but they just live outside. But I wanted to get them spayed and neutered, because otherwise they're gonna be fucking and they're gonna be like 20 cats outside my door. Girl. Right. And we already have Georgie, my cat. So I'm like, all right, we need to stop. So I trapped them and I caught them, and then I took them in my house and I was taking care of them. And that's boom, I got COVID. So like,
Wait a minute. So you said October 2019. So like before the shit, like
2020. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh,
2020. Okay. My timing is all off. My bad. Last year. It was October last year, guys. I'm so sorry. Yeah, because that doesn't make any fucking sense, because that'd be way before the pandemic hit. No.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. There was like a month and a half. Oh, what the fuck? 2019. Yeah, November 2019 to like December 2019. Like I had this cough that wouldn't go away. I swear to God, and I don't get sick like that. I do have like bad springtime allergies, but that's
me too. Okay.
And so I usually get like one cold in the winter, and that's it. But November, December 2019, where I had this cough that wouldn't go away, I was just like sick for fucking ever. So then when all this COVID shit broke, I was like,
did you have it? Yeah.
Right. And like, I don't fucking know, because I was still going to work. Like I was still operating.
Right.
Because I was just like, it's just a cough, but I'm not a cougher. Like I don't cough. Like I'm not a smoker. So, I don't just have like this random ass cough that I do all the time, So yeah, I was literally coughing for like 2 months straight. And then right after that, I got like a cold, and I'm like, is this never going to end? Like, what the fuck is going on?
My homegirl too, she was very sick in like January. And the pandemic didn't hit till like March, right? Like officially in America. And she was really fucking sick. So she says that she thinks that she got sick. She had COVID at that time before people knew what the fuck was going on, because she said that it was really weird. It was super like out of nowhere. She was super sick. She's never been that sick before. So yeah, I mean, just because the pandemic hit in March doesn't mean that you probably could have had it like beforehand. You just didn't know what it was. Right. So and most people that like, because of now the symptoms and we know what's going on, they were like, oh shit, I totally had it back in like February and I didn't know, or I had it back in January or December or some shit, like you just didn't fucking know.
This shit to be over.
Listen, I mean, right now I still got antibodies, because that's why because before, so that's another thing, guys, is like, speaking on travel, have you been getting these emails from like the traveling, like what is it, the board of like travel? Basically I've been getting emails like crazy that stating now that if you want to go like anywhere now, you need to have a negative test result to leave. Have you been
Even
getting
if
those
you have the
emails?
vaccine, yeah.
Yeah,
Even
I've been
if you
getting
have
those
the
emails
vaccine.
like crazy. So like
We were talking about it in one of my chats.
you
Um,
what?
we were talking about that in one of my chats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, oh here it is. Oh no, that's not it. But like I've been getting like texts from because like whenever you get like whenever you have to travel to certain country, I signed up for this one thing where like it alerts me if a country is getting like a high alert system. Like I'll get randomly like, oh, warning, traveling to the Philippines right now, there is a high advisory if you go to the Philippines that there terrorism's there or
Right.
things like that. Like I get those emails randomly, so it'll
Mhm.
alert me. And I remember one time, girl, like literally this was back when like fuck, was it George Floyd when the George Floyd movement was big? I was getting those messages and the warnings were going to America. It was like warning, going to it was crazy, girl. It's like if you go to America, if you go to the United States of America, there is acts of, riots and danger to African Americans. Be careful. And I was like, look at God.
So
Look
then
at
I have
this
a
shit.
question for you though. So because I get this shit a lot, since you know
Yeah.
so many people from all these different countries, are they constantly asking you about the state of things in this country? Because obviously they see the shit on the news and they're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what the fuck is going on over there? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Like, do you get these questions a lot?
I did. I mean, like mostly because when I lived in Australia, it was when Trump became president. So I moved back home knowing this nigga was my president, right?
Right.
And they would message me all the time and be like,
Yeah.
girl, are you okay? Like, I was just like, I'm not well. Save
Yeah.
me from this shit,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, occasionally I'll get the like, hey, how are things? Like, are you, especially my homegirl Margarita, she's currently living in London, which I need to, like, London was the place where that new strain of COVID was found. So I'm definitely like want to have her on soon.
Yeah.
So because she's on another lockdown too, and like
Yeah.
I got all my homies in Australia. So like they're bitch. When I tell you Australians right now are living it the fuck up, they
Yeah, I
are
saw this shit in New
keeping.
Zealand too.
New Zealand and Australia has like 0 cases of COVID. No, I'm just kidding. No,
They
they
don't have
have
to be
some,
mad.
but it's like they
They don't
had
have
that
to be
shit on.
sick.
I just asked her yesterday actually, how like Melbourne was doing in Australia about for their COVID cases. Girl, they had 0 cases. And then like the ones that they did have, they said that they were very like controlled. They had like 10 cases and they have them on this like super, super quarantine where they're like in this facility and they're not allowed to leave. And but it's like literally like another world over there. Like they're not even really enforcing masks like that, especially because it's summertime right now over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like a whole nother world. Like everything's just in New Zealand, you can go shopping, no
Yeah, New Zealand is
masks.
open. Like it's good. They
It's
Gucci.
good. They don't have
Yeah,
no cases in fucking New
none.
Zealand of COVID.
They're
So
totally fine.
they're totally
And you know
fine.
what? It's funny that we mentioned that right now because my old boss from Bangkok, she's from New Zealand and she recently moved back there a little bit after I moved back home or whatever. I'm gonna
Mhm.
reach out to her and be like, "Hey, girl, how's everything going?"
You know what? And I have a homegirl that my ex roommate when I was living in Melbourne, she's a Kiwi. She's
Yeah.
from New Zealand.
Uh-huh.
And she's Samoan though. She's Samoan Kiwi. And I think she's back in home in New Zealand. And I need to call her and be like,
Her
what's up,
best
girl? Like, how you
fucking
doing?
life.
She's probably living it up, partying at
Living her
concerts.
best life.
Girl, you know what I'm saying? No care in the world, no COVID in sight. A quarantine who? Who is she?
Yeah.
What? Don't know her, never seen her.
It's crazy that motherfuckers act like this is supposed to be the best country ever, and here we are going on a year
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
having to do all this shit. Like shit is getting shut back down. I still have to wear a fucking mask
Yeah.
everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Like everything is still at a reduced capacity. Like everything is still getting closed down early. Like I'm just like,
Girl.
you know what
And
I really feel bad for? I really feel bad for the kids. Um,
yeah.
because I couldn't imagine having to end my senior year of high school how the kids had to last year. I couldn't imagine being in college and not being
Yeah.
able to experience shit the way that we were able to
Right.
openly with fun. Like it's really fucking crazy.
Girl, it's really gonna take a toll on people. Like, I mean, like we see the short-term effects like right now with the obviously the short-term effects, but like no one's talking about the long-term effects that this is gonna affect going
Yeah.
forward 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Not only that, the recession that will be hitting us, bitch, our economy, she is not well. she is not doing good.
Trash.
Okay, so be aware, guys, that this economy is trash, and we fully expect a fucking recession. I am not a financial major in any way, but I just listen to a lot of financial people that know
Honey,
what the fuck they're talking about.
And listen, I do not want to go back to teaching ever again because I do not believe kids are my ministry. I will say that. I had fun, but listen, honey, I just know, listen,
Yeah.
no. But hit a recession in this country again, I guarantee you my black ass will be back out there teaching some kids.
I mean,
I
girl.
don't give a fuck.
And I can't, you know what? And this is the age of survival. We need to survive.
Yeah.
You know, my girl, I got a job working in cannabis. Your girl's an essential worker now. Yeah, girl. So I'm like fully on that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I'm getting a tech now, so that'll probably hit a little different.
You'll always be good with tech. Yeah. You ain't going nowhere with that. Yeah. And the cannabis industry is fucking booming. So I'm just like gonna smoke my weed and get my checks. You know what I'm saying? And just see, girl, because you just never fucking know. You literally never know. But I mean, honestly, Sabrina, like, I fucking love you. This has been such a great conversation. I like you guys. Sabrina is great, and she has so many more stories. I'm sure we'll have her back on soon. She's great if she'll be on, and she can tell.
Yes, I love telling stories and talking shit.
Girl, yes. But like, so before we move on to the next segment, we're gonna actually take a quick break, and then she'll be back for the next segment. Okay, guys? We are back. All right, guys. So it is time for meditate, masturbate, or medicate. Sabrina, what would you like to talk about today, girl? She couldn't decide. She was like, I don't know. I'm like, girl, choose something.
I'm very indecisive, girl. I'm a Libra. Like, what?
Oh, girl, yes you are. Yes you are. Well, let's how about this? Let's just choose something that's more closely related to like our travels in that sense.
All three.
True. That's so true. That is fucking so true. Because I'm just like, wait a minute. Actually, all of them very much relate. Let's talk about masturbate.
Let's talk about it. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna tell Kim to choose, and I was like, I know she's gonna choose that.
Girls always juicy to talk about masturbation. Let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Now, since you lived abroad, like myself, and you know your girls, you know, we got some instruments that we got to travel with. You know what I'm saying? We got, some of us, maybe not all of us. But how was that? Did you have to travel like all over the world, like you did, live abroad with your like dildo wand?
So, I'm not gonna lie, I actually researched this before going to Thailand.
Did you?
Yes. I heard that if you got caught with the shit in your luggage, you could go to jail. So the first time that I went to Thailand, both times that I went to Thailand, I left my sex toys here in Indianapolis because I was like, y'all not about to just randomly search my shit and find whatever plethora of sex toys that I may or may not have. And then be locking me up. Like, what the fuck? So
dead ass? They said that they would lock you up?
I like researched some shit. This was like back in 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
When I researched this shit. So in my mind, I was just like, oh my God, like they're gonna put me in jail if they fucking just like randomly search my shit and find it. So I just left everything here. So then once I got to Thailand, I saw that they were selling sex toys on Soy 11, which whatever, everybody knows. Yeah. Well, not everybody, but
what can you explain where that area is to people that don't know?
Yeah, so Soy 11 in Bangkok, it is a very high traffic area for sex. I'll just say that. Yeah. Take what you want from that. I mean, there are prostitutes.
You could buy some pussy.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. Right. From a woman or a man.
Ping pong shows.
Yeah.
All she wrote.
Bitches shooting balls out their vagina. Like,
yeah. Whatever. Ew, girl. Not only that, but I was told that, and I never watched it because I can't support that with this part. But I was told with the ping pong shows that they also shove like live animals in there, yeah, girl, live, like birds, fish and
Yes, see,
shit.
I think
Girl,
I'm the same accord as far as that because I was like, I'm not spending my money to support that, but you know,
no, girl. Yeah,
I wasn't even,
listen, I'm all the way here for a bitch shooting ping pongs out her pussy
yeah,
and smoking with her pussy or whatever the fuck. But
listen,
when you add an animal, a live animal to the
yeah.
mix, no, miss me with that. Yeah.
But so at 11, like there were all these sex toys available, whatever. I was like, I'm not buying this shit. It didn't even look clean to me. So I was like, I'm not doing that shit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get some dick from whomever I decide to court. Or no,
Okay.
whomever I allow to fucking court me. Who the fuck? Because I'm not courting these niggas, period.
True.
So yeah. But I mean, masturbation definitely came into play a lot because it's just like you have to fucking figure out how to maneuver the dating scene. You have to fucking figure that shit out stateside. The fuck?
Well,
Like,
that's exactly why I was like so curious because I'm just like, how the fuck do you do that when you're traveling? You know, it's tough, you
I
know?
mean, I just think, you know, after you're there, you just like, all right, this is what's here.
Yeah.
You go out enough to see what is available. You get on little dating sites. And motherfuckers hollered at me a lot, and I'm just like, oh fuck, here we go again. And I'm like, story, you know. And so it's like you eventually figure out how to fucking maneuver the shit. You decide what you like, what you don't like, what you will and won't accept.
Yeah.
And then you're okay. I mean, I've had men that I've had back at my apartment, and they've literally like, okay, my dick is out, and I'm like, for what? They're like, well, I want to fuck, and I'm like, well, you're not fucking me. Like, I don't know what the fuck made you think.
Right.
Like
Right.
seriously, and that was actually, I remember specifically, that was a dude that was from Texas. That was a basketball player, and I'm like, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
So
Like,
really, you nigga, you really don't know what. Come on now. Like,
my
come
thing
on. You
is,
got no excuse.
I think a lot of them get used to being abroad, and so women like throw themselves at them,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm like one of the only black men here, so she's definitely gonna be thirsty as fuck."
Right.
No, I'm still
Absolutely
very
not.
selective. I'm not fucking anybody that just has a dick. I'm
Right.
not doing that shit. Cause I'll go do other things before I do that, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck you.
Girl, I'm like, shit. I did not know this about going to Thailand and getting arrested because, girl, your girl definitely traveled with her dildo. So
Girl, I mean,
I'm like, shit, I was going to get arrested? Oh, shit.
well, the shit that I was reading, like, I don't know. Like I said, that was like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if it was credible or not. But in my mind,
Right.
I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
This is
But you're
not
like,
like
I'm not even about to
locked up
test
abroad.
it.
I'm not
Yeah.
about to be locked up abroad. I
No.
can't deal with that shit. No, 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 no.
You guys, being locked up abroad is not, and mind you, I don't know because I was your girl. Okay, I'm not trying to listen. I'm not about to be like, was that one fucking movie with Claire Danes where then she got locked her ass up in fucking Bangkok? There's a fucking movie where it's her, it's Claire Danes and Kate Beckinsdale, whatever the fucking name
I
is,
don't know what that
and
is.
they go to Thailand and they get like they end up being like they got tricked into being drug mules. And Broke Down Palace, that's what it's called, Broke Down Palace. And they ended up going to jail in Thailand. And it's a whole movie, bitch. And it just is like, whoo, girl. That movie scarred me for life. So I'm like, I'm not about to fuck with the Thai government. So the Thai, hell no. But I mean, on any level. Oh, and then like this dude, he was on a podcast. I forgot. He's like somewhat of like a mini celebrity or some shit. He wrote this book, but he was like telling a story that he went to Dubai. And girl, he went to Dubai. And when I tell you, Dubai is so fucking strict when it comes to like, they have a zero tolerance there. And he had like in his pocket, like just from like, I don't know, it just like fucking like some bud like fell in his pocket or whatever. And he just had like the remnants of like, you know, some like cannabis, like some weed in his pocket. He had like, I think he had 2 or 3 seeds like at the bottom of his pocket. And he got arrested. He got put in jail for like a year or some shit. Yeah. Yeah, they are not fucking around overseas, guys. So it's just like, so the fact that you did your research and everything, like, no, you were smart for that. You were smart for that.
Yeah, but
like
I got there and I was like, oh, woo!
yeah, it's like, girl. I mean, and that's the thing. You can buy sex toys. Like Thailand's got a very seedy, very underground, like sexy.
It's
sex
not even
part to it.
underground, honestly.
True, not underground.
It's out in the open.
That's very
like,
true.
It's not. It's especially like in very like high touristy places like that I would go and Bangkok.
Silom Road.
Yeah, like you see this shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like Soy Cowboy, I remember specifically there were like some lady boys on like the corner, and there were some like white European men walking past, and they like were grabbing, like groping them, bending over on them, and the men got so mad. And I'm just like, but if you know where the fuck you're coming, you can't get mad at shit like that.
Yeah.
You know where the fuck you're coming.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then you should do some more research.
Right.
Because you can't like disrespect where their shit is at. What they always do.
That's what they
Your ass
do.
wherever the fuck you been.
Yeah, and like the lady, so like the lady boys guys is like you know, basically if you go to parts of like the Philippines or Thailand, you know that's very predominant there. So lady boys is basically what you're saying. It's, you know, in the Thai tongue it's called gutu. They call it gutu, like, and it's like basically, you know, men that have, you know, dressed up themselves super like a lady. They like have makeup, and in some of the lady boys there are super beautiful, like
fine as hell. A lot of
fine as hell, and they fully got a whole dick underneath their skirt. So I'm like, oh Lord, but they are fine.
There's a lot of men be going.
And that's what they go. They know that that's out there, and they seek that out.
Literally will pay to fuck them. So
yeah. There is a there's a lot of men that like that shit. So hey, props to you.
And I think that's why a lot of men go to Thailand for these, you know, like experiences that they cannot have where they're from. Right. I'm not knocking it. But my thing is, don't come here and then try to disrespect the shit. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Have respect.
Absolutely. It's annoying as hell. Don't go anywhere and try to disrespect anybody's culture or what they do or what you know that they're known for.
Yeah. So important, guys. Like, I feel like, and that's something that I feel like as travelers, it's kind of like we just know better, you know what I'm saying? Because we just like go to so many fucking places and experience so many different cultures. But like that, nothing irks me more than a person that's just like ignorant to like going somewhere and they just like don't, like a lot of people will like parts of the world, like for example, like tipping, right? Tipping is a custom that's here in America that it's not actually in other parts of the world. In Australia, you don't tip. They don't tip in Australia, right? It's just because the people that the baristas and the server, they get a higher rate. They get paid very well, right? So they don't need a tip and they don't actually rely on tip. Whereas here in America, servers rely on tip. They need that. So like they would be pissed when they would get people from like other parts of the world where they don't tip, and then they would come and they would go to restaurants in America and they would leave without tipping because that's not their culture to tip. But it's like, it goes both ways, sweetie. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your research when you're there.
Exactly. Do your research.
It goes both ways. And I do. When I'm like in another country or another part of the world, I'm like, let me research, like, okay, what's a good tip here? Okay. And then I do whatever it says.
I mean, even aside from just like tipping, like just researching cultural customs, because I feel like a lot of shit that we do here is like not acceptable in other parts of the world.
True.
I think we are very open. We are a very free culture. Everybody else isn't like that.
Right. I mean, going to temples in Thailand, right? Sabrina, like you need to. Women cannot be wearing booty shorts at a Thai temple.
Can't be out. Like
no.
I even had on. I was in Indonesia and I had on a tank top that was brown, so it was very like kind of close to my skin. I couldn't come in, and the guy that was like my tour guide, he was like, "No, she has on a shirt." They were like, "No," and like luckily I had like a backpack person, so I had like all this shit in there, so I could wrap a scarf like around me. But no, you can't wear your shorts. You know, you can't have your ass cheeks out, which I do both. That's how I dress.
Listen, it's acceptable in places, let's just be real, but not everywhere, right?
Not everywhere, right. And like you can't have your shoulders out, your chest can't be out. If I'm just going out for a night out in Bangkok, that's totally fine.
Right.
But you go to a temple in Bangkok, no ma'am, it's not happening. And it makes sense. You respect the fucking shit, period.
Right, exactly. I mean, when you go, like a lot of foreigners don't know that, so like they'll be out there in their booty shorts and stuff because it's hot as fuck. So I get it too, you know what I'm saying? It's hot as hell. So what they'll do is if you go to the temple in Thailand, they'll actually have like wraps and like dresses and things that will, you know, cover you up, so while you're in the temple you can respect the temple, because that's something to them that's very sacred. You know, if you just go up in there and with your titties out, like that's so disrespectful to them. So So at least they do that now because they know people already just aren't ready for that shit.
And
So
then even like with taking your shoes off, like I remember going to one temple, like people got mad because they had to take their shoes off. And I'm just like, seriously, like just respect the shit.
Yes.
Your fucking shoes off.
God.
And for me, I think that's why when I started going places where I knew like that was a thing, I would take like a bigger bag because I would have like stuff in there to cover up. I could put my shoes in my bag. You know, I'm not about to disrespect anybody's culture just because I feel comfortable having my shorts on and my shoulders out and my shoes on.
Right.
No. And that's how, you know, a lot of Americans, I think culturally, a lot of people like us, maybe not now, considering what has been happening for the past few years. But people look at us as being very entitled for reasons like this because we'll go to different countries and we get mad at their customs and we don't want to abide by them.
Right.
Not we as in me or you,
right.
but in general, because a lot of Americans are just very entitled.
100% agree with you.
It's ridiculous.
100%. It is very ridiculous. Yeah. And I think that's so important what you said about it is super important, guys, when you do travel to respect the culture. I'm so happy you said that because that's something that is not talked about enough because it's like, yeah, you can go and travel the world and everything like that. But there is also a level of respect that you should have when you're traveling too. Because it like, you know, and that's like, if you don't want, and that's the thing is like, if you don't want to get in trouble or don't want to fucking get, you know, beat up at a fucking bar and shit, like you just never fucking know. People are that we don't like the world is not run in America like the way it is in America everywhere else in the world. It's just not. It's just really not. So do your research, you know, find your tribe. Your tribe looks out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm sure like that's kind of how things went when I was traveling. I would meet people up. Hey, you should go here, blah, 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 blah. Oh, really? How is it? Oh, it's dope, but don't do this, don't do that, or watch out for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a matter of being aware.
I mean, yeah, and definitely keeping your head on a fucking swivel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, me and you, I'm from Chicago. You're from Indiana. Like, we are always, like, for me, it don't matter where I go. I watch my bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always like,
That's a common misconception I feel like people have about, oh my God, Indiana, like Indianapolis. No, because motherfuckers here will murk your ass.
Yeah.
About it. So, you know, people like Indiana, cornfields and farms. I don't even know where a cornfield or a farm is at. But I do know where you can get shot.
Right. right.
So no, it's like, you know, I keep my head on a swivel here as I do anywhere else.
Same. Yeah.
You know, I think maybe I might be a little bit more on alert when I'm out of the country just because it's literally foreign as fuck to me.
Yeah.
But I'm very alert everywhere that I go. And I think
important.
being a woman, especially a woman of color, honey.
You guys, we have to be so careful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking careful.
It's a must.
It's a must. Yeah. Sabrina, I love talking to you. Like, seriously, I could be here all fucking night talking about this. We're just going to have you back because it was amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed Sabrina on because she is just like got so much like stories and just like experiences. Like, we both live this kind of very nomadic travel life. So that's why I want to have her on. So we could just share a little bit of like just like some of our experiences because some people just don't realize that it's a thing, you know. So that's kind of why I want to have you on. But before that, let me go ahead and give you the quote of the day. And I picked the quote kind of, you know, in relation to what we're travel and like the things we talked about. So here it is. You will never be completely at home again because part of your heart always will be somewhere else. That is the price you pay for the richness of loving and knowing people in more than one place. And that is by Miriam Adeney.
Girl, fucking facts.
Yes, right?
Oh,
how true to what we were just talking about, right? Our people that helped us travel and like, you know, our tribe that we found traveling is just so important. So Sabrina, you're the shit. I fucking love you, girl. I can't, you know, it's been so nice catching up. Like, I haven't seen Sabrina in a long time. We haven't caught up in a long time. So this was really nice and genuine, guys. But yeah, Sabrina, please at this time, if you have any like plugs, tell people where they can find you if they want to follow your travel photos on Instagram or Facebook. Tell us where we can find you.
Yeah, so my Instagram is just my name, my first and last name, Sabrina Boyett, Boyett, and that's it. Yeah, I'm really just there on Facebook. I don't really deal with anything else at this point because I don't care that much anymore.
I need you to go on Twitter though. Like you would be lit to
I
follow
do
on
have
Twitter.
my Twitter. Oh my God, look at my cat.
Hi, baby.
Lucy.
Hi. Oh, he's so cute.
My baby.
Aww.
So yeah, I do have my Twitter that I had from college. It's all of my social media shit is just Sabrina Boyett.
Okay, I will put all this in the show notes so you guys can follow her.
I just never tweet anymore because
we have to try to get. Joy said she needs to go back on too, so I'm like, come on, I want to try to like. Because we've been like missing out, girl. Twitter is like, especially Black Twitter, it's like so good.
I see it. Like people send me shit from Twitter all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
it's just more work.
Maybe I need to unfollow people and then follow new people.
Yeah, if you do, like, follow me. We'll like, get back in. Because bitch, when it comes to the verses and when you just live tweet with the verses, it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, and Keisha Cole and Ashanti, they're doing theirs again, or
yeah,
since they never did it.
Right, because Ashanti was like out in these streets getting COVID and shit. Yeah, I know. Girl, yes. I feel like that's gonna be interesting. I want to watch that one too. I really do. I'm gonna be like,
coming up soon, I think.
Yeah, it's coming up.
So yeah, it's Sabrina Boyett.
Okay, guys.
You lure me back into Twitter, then I'll try.
I want you to, because you're so funny. Like you would be really good on Twitter to follow. You guys all follow her on Instagram and then tell her to go on Twitter too, so we can all.
They're gonna block me. They're like,
no, they're not.
I'll be talking shit, Kim.
I love it. I live for your fucking shit talking.
But everybody doesn't.
Whatever, bitch. That's why you gonna have a tribe though that fucks with your shit, like me. Anyways, Sabrina. Yeah, girl, there is always a tribe for us. Shit, fuck that. Right? The Kimbology listeners out there, they fucks with us. Heavy AF. Yeah. As always, though, guys, thank you so fucking much for listening every week. Please subscribe and leave us comments on Apple Podcasts. Listen to us on Spotify. We're on Good Pods now. I think there's another platform that we're on. Pocket Casts. I did find that we're on that too. So you can listen to us literally anywhere. But yeah, you can always send your Q&As, your questions and answers to kimbologypodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, guys, please follow Sabrina. She's so funny. She's got really dope travel photos. She's moving to Houston soon, so I'm sure we're going to see all the fuckery that she's going to get into over there.
Absolutely.
Out in the fucking Houston streets. I feel like you would be very perfect for Houston.
Child, this shit about to be lit, and
I'm gonna look forward to that. I'll come visit you. Yes, for sure. All right, guys. So that's it for this week. And as always, I love you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. Say bye, Sabrina. Bye. Kimbo out.
Brought to you by the Rick Dog Network. Well, shoot the damn dog.